Hey, Shalom Akim, Yabashima Shai Barakatam, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, also to the apostles, telling truth. Yeah, just got a quick topic to, bring out some precepts on. I know it's been a while since I made up a video. But anyway, thought out Yabashima Shai for giving me this opportunity. Well, as you can see, things ain't looking too good in Babylon, man. Because you got voters talking about, they're not pleased with the way the country is going. So I just got a few, precepts to bring up. So just bear with me in a little moment. All right. Let's see. This stuff's gonna load up real quick. All right. So I'm just gonna, bring out some basic precepts. Jump down to Proverbs, the 29th chapter. Okay, here it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So that's basically what we got going on in Babylon right now, man. These voters ain't pleased, man. Folks that devote their time and effort into this so-called democracy, they've realized, that the game is, system is rigged, and all they could do right now is just, hope, hope things change for the better, but things are not going that way, man. So, you know, it's a it's a bitter taste, for the zombies in Babylon, man. They got so much invested in this place. They're not pleased with the way the economy is going. With the educational system is going, financials. Talking about justice. Yeah, not really pleased with that. So I bring out a few more precepts because folks are frustrated, they're tired, they're angry. They go, they fall in the conversation as about all this politics, and they realize that these politicians are just full of shit, and they're basically up to no good. But anyway, that's where the Most High set it up because you know Babylon's destiny is destruction. That's where Yabashima Shai has set it up, man. Everything's just leading to destruction for America. So that's the reason why the Mosiah put up, this so-called Edomites in power, man. Put them in key positions in government. So that's one of the reasons why, brothers shouldn't be upset, man. And get emotional because it's the Most High's program. And then you know how it is. There's no reason to complain and get bent out of shape because it's basically out of the hands of the men of the Lord, man. That's where Yabashima Shai set it up. Let me get to another precept. Just bear with me real quick. Um, let's see. Bear with me 1 second. No. Just bear with me 1 second. Yeah. So let's see. Just gonna go over to verse 12 real quick, because you know the judgment of the Lord still stands. So this is verse 12. It says, "If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked." So that's one of the things Yabashima Shah is doing right now. It's letting folks know that that the lies in Babylon, man, is stirring up the pot. It's making these people pissed off, and eventually it's gonna get to a boiling point. Yep, just one moment. Yeah, I mean that's all it boils down to. It's all the Most High's program. So let me just move on quickly to the book of Daniel, chapter 4. Now move up to verse 17. You know, because a lot of folks don't understand that it's the Most High's program. It's basically straightforward. To those that know what's going on behind the scenes, because just like Yahweh Shai said, Yahweh's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So this is Daniel chapter 4 verse 17. It says, "This decree is this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men." So you could tell right now, it's all the Most High's program. And this dispensation of rulership, is basically given over to the Edomites. So you could tell, these are the worst times mankind has ever dwelt in, during the rulership of the Edomites. And it's going to get much worse. And, for the men of the Lord out there, there's nothing for us to fear. You just got to, persevere, you know, keep your ear to the ground, keep your mind focused, because times are going to get hard out here. So the best thing the man of the Lord could do is always continue to study, fast and pray, preach the word in sincerity at all times. Learn to be circumspect and wise as a serpent. And another easy precept to bring out would be Job 9 and 24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" So you could tell, man, that the earth is already under the rulership of the wicked. So that's why I have some more turmoil going on around, man. The economy is unstable. Households getting torn up, violence everywhere. You turn on the news, people getting jacked up, messed up. Folks dying at an alarming rate. It's terrible out there, man. Folks thinking they're getting the right medication, but end up getting sicker, and then they pass on. So it's all the Most High's will. That's why I gave the rulership into the hand of the wicked. You can tell the elites of these Edomites don't have no care for their own people. You know, how much less for the Israelites and the heathen. See, let me find another precept to bring out. It's just some basic commentary. Just had to make no preparation. Had to be made. So I'm gonna go over to I'll do a quick search and I'll just pull it up rather than use two computers at the same time. Um, okay, let's see. Alright, Jeremiah 51, verse 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Forsake her. And let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So could tell, man, folks are looking for all kind of ways to make America great again, man. Donald Trump's motto, his mantra, make America great again. But eventually, folks are seen through the charade. It's all smoke and mirrors, and folks are angry, frustrated. They're venting their frustrations out there, the open. They can't. There's nowhere for them. There's nowhere for them to turn to. They can't complain to the Justice Department, the Supreme Court, the local police departments, FBI, CIA. I mean, there's basically nothing they can do, man, because Mozart put those agencies in that position, to facilitate the downfall of Babylon, man. All they could do is just sit back and just let everything crash, in the name of their so-called New World Order. And it's even terrible, too, that, when you go back to the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 29 and 12. Let me just bring it up one more time. Proverbs 29, verse 12. It says, if a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. It's simple, it's clear out there, these new agencies they got on, on this side of the world. I'm just saying, these new agencies in general, man, they're not out there to promote the truth, man. They're just there to push lies and lies and lies. So it's one of the reasons why the Most High is letting this place go down. And I get another precept to let you know, man, that all these agencies, be it CNN, Sky News, CBS, they're all put in place, man, to deceive the people. And eventually it's all for the destruction of Babylon. Uh, Let me just read an account in First Kings, the 22nd chapter. Yep, First Kings 22, and move up to the 22nd chapter. Even though it's talking about how the Most High sent the lion spirit to deceive the false prophets, you know, so they could pay lip service to the king. So it's the same way the Most High put the lion spirit in the midst of these news agencies, across the world. Okay, so let me just go to verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this matter, another said on that matter. And there came forth a spirit and stood before Yahweh and said, I will persuade him. So that's basically the same, the same spirit that the Most High is putting in the mind of these elites, man. To deceive the people, because you're basically setting up Babylon up for destruction, the draft, is basically in the works, all this false information they pass on to all these law enforcement agencies and educational institutions is helping, to lead Babylon down the wrong path. Actually, the right path because, it's the Most High's plan, so it's got to be just and right. So, this verse 21, I read it one more time. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lion spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him, and shall prevail also. Go forth and do so. So that's why the reason the Most High set up all these, so-called advisors, man, for different, sectors in Babylon, man, to lead the people astray. Because it's terrible, it's terrifying, but, folks just gotta learn to bite the bullet, man, because that's where the Most High set it up, man, because there's no way, the elect of the nation of Israel are gonna get salvation, or Yahushua gotta return without having the destruction of America in the works. So that's why the Most High has put this lion spirit out there. Let me go to the book of Isaiah real quick, if the Lord says so. Isaiah 29. Okay, because verse 6 lets you know, it says, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. That's basically the conclusion of Babylon, man. It's basically gonna go up in flames, and it's not according to man's control, man's desire. It's about Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai. So you could just tell, everything is just going down the tubes, man. Like the other Gabar usually says, that America is circling the drain, based on that famous comedian's, opinion. So I'll go over to let me see real quick. Another precept here. That's let's see. Let me pick Isaiah 19 and 14. Actually, let me read verse 3 because it's also on point. It says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fill in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." So verse 4 says, "And Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord, Yahweh of hosts." So you could tell, man, this place is gonna go through tremendous changes, man. You could tell martial law is coming. Nobody knows who's gonna be president. Maybe it's gonna be Hillary. Maybe it's gonna be Trump. Maybe Obama's still gonna stay in office. Maybe it's gonna be, somebody else. But who knows, man? Only Abashima Shai knows. So I can't really call that. Verse 14 says, "The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit." So it's tough times, man. Tough times coming to Babylon, man. Folks looking for all kind of opportunities to improve their living conditions, but it's a it's a waste of time, man. Thinking things will turn out for the better here in Babylon, but that's not the way the Most High set it up. It's all heading for destruction. Verse 15, it says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do." So that there's letting you know, man, the economy in Babylon is gonna tank. It's gonna hit rock bottom. It's never gonna have a serious recovery, man. All those stimulus packages and tax refunds, it's basically worthless. And just to let you know, man, you know, folks talking about bringing the jobs back to Babylon. No, just jobs ain't coming back to Babylon, man. All you got is just service jobs, man. Manufacturing is going overseas, man. So all these folks talking about, proudly made in America. Yeah, pride, goes before fall, the spirit of Babylon is not the spirit of humility. So it's just one of those things, folks have to look forward to. Because, man, it's just make you speechless, man. Because this place is just going down the crapper. It's going down the crapper, folks are pissed off, crime is just spreading here and there, There's so much corruption when it comes to financials here in Babylon, man. They always, let you know it's no secure place to store your wealth, because the stock market will go up and down, and there's nothing folks can do, because this inflation, man, it just keeps popping up here and there. So I could bring up another precept here. It's just a little advice for brothers. This place is just going down the crapper. So let's get Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Okay. It says, this is what Yahushua said to the disciples. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Because, there's nothing promised in Babylon, man, but just destruction. Just, I won't say, you know, to keep on, looking and searching for better opportunities. Because eventually the Most High will just give you a little get up job here and there, just to weather the storm. Because eventually the employment in Babylon is gonna be, I would say it, man. It's gonna be dry, man. Employment rates will go through the roof. They tell you, food employment will be at 5%. But you definitely know, it's much higher than that. So it's gonna be going up and up and up, man. It's what's the use saying you got money, but they're no good for you. They are no good for you to purchase. All right, because it's terrible times, man. Terrible times. And let me see if we get another precept, man. Because I wouldn't want to waste brothers' time. It's just bringing up my opinion. So gotta be about the precepts. Alright, just bear with me 1 second. Alright, here's another good precept from the Old Testament. It's Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 19. It says, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. So you could tell, man, comes a time where all those riches won't be of any value here in Babylon, man. Because the things folk care about the most, their families, their jobs, will have gone through the window, down the drain. So the little folks have left, they'll be fighting hard to hold on to it. That's when they'll realize that they've wasted their time chasing after vanity. And then let me pull up a precept addressing the word vanity. Just give me 1 second. Alright. That's another one from Proverbs. Proverbs 13. 13 verse 11. It says, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. So, it's vain, man. It's vain to think, that engaging in vain acts to get rich is going to lead to, you know, lasting success, but it's going to be worthless, man. Because the elites know, man. The elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, Bushes and Clintons, they know what time it is, man. They know Babylon's going down, so they're doing everything they can to, lead Babylon, lead America into World War III to cover up for their fuck ups. So, you know, they'll pull out every trick in the book to come after the men of the Lord, to oppress the people. So, just to make sure they stay in power. But Shai already knows that, their vengeance is in his heart, and he'll eventually act upon it once Yahweh, gives him the green light. Because, like I always say, it's got to be a balance. So, that's why you have, good is set against evil. According to the precepts you got in the Apocrypha. Let me pull up this real quick. Just wait. That should be in Leviticus. Yep. Leviticus chapter 35. About 19 and 35. It says, you shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in metyard, in weight, or in measure. So you know how it is in Babylon, man. You can barely, go to the courthouse and see how trials are going in the right direction. Which is all full of BS. It's just a scheme to milk people out of their, their hard-earned wages. So much robbery and corruption going on, man. Getting taxed on your wages. Paying for fines here and there. Because, it's a system based on collection of fees. Based on the payment of tributes. You gotta pay for tolls, you gotta pay taxes and on your purchases. Inflation is also a tax. So, in many ways, the elites always rob people, man. Could rob you at gunpoint, or could rob you with a pen, or rob you with you know, rob you with their legislation, or how to say, the ink, the saw, the ink, and pen, false witnesses. Let's see what else I could bring out again. This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 6. Well, 21 verse 6. It says, the getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity, tossed to and fro of them that seek death. Yep. And then you can always understand, it's very clear, man. But this elites, man, they just can't. They can't have enough, man. You know, it's uh, it's in their nature, man. It's in their nature to keep on, chasing after riches, man. They have the rulership of the earth, but that is not enough for them. Oh, let me see. Pull it up real quick. Just give me 1 second. And then it says in verse 7, it says, the robbery of the wicked shall destroy them because they refuse to do judgment. Yep. So, you know how it is, man. The Most High, they put these Edomites up in a position of authority because it's not in their spirit to bring forth righteous judgment, man. If you're gonna get righteous judgments, it's gonna be a few and very, rare, that comes true, and just acts of, trying to save face. But eventually, at the end, man, they always have something in their back pocket, man, to come, jack up your life, man. Mess things up. Just give me 1 second. 1 second. Let's see. Okay. This is Book of Psalms. Book of Psalms. Verse let me see, chapter 73. Alright, let me just start from verse 1. Okay, Psalms chapter 73, verse 1. Truly, Yahweh is good to Israel, even to such of a clean heart. And one more time. Truly, Yahweh is good to Israel, even to such as of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone, my steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their debt, but their strength is firm. So you could tell, man, the Most High set up his Edomites to have dominion from generation to generation. And eventually, it's coming to an end. So you could tell, man, their power, just kept expanding over the past, hundreds of years. So, and now in verse 5 it says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. And it's always evident, most always let you know uh, who the elites are, which nation is in rulership, and their true identity, because you could tell the Edomites are in rulership. They're not going through the so-called third world, conditions, man. They still got their homes, still got their jobs, But right now, the Most High is pulling those plugs slowly but surely. And then in verse 6 it says, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. So that's the way, the Most High designed his Edomites, man. to be full of pride and to have a spirit of violence within them. They gotta conquer nation after nation just to be satisfied. But the satisfaction is just temporary. They gotta keep on going. So verse 7 says, "Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily." So they have they have the balls, man. To make mockery of Jakes out there, man. Say go get a job. While they are the same folks, that plan to rob you. Make your life a living hell. And then, verse 9 says, they set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. So that's one thing, folks gotta realize, man. The Most High put his Edomites in power to cause havoc, man. Cause havoc, make folks feel uncomfortable, in your own home. That is for the heathens. But for Jakes right now, for Israelites out there, there's no place for a Jake to call home right now, man, till Yahweh Shema Shai brings about the destruction of America. Says the nations, the heathens, and set them up in captivity, so they could build back up the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of heaven. That's the only way, we're gonna have a home. And just to piggyback on the main point, man, folks are pissed off. Let me get another precept from the Apocrypha. Let's see, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna read it off. All the gadgets right here. So this is Book of Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. Okay, and it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So, you know how it is, man. It's gonna get terrible in Babylon, it's all prophecy, And then if I read the next verse, verse 17, it says, "A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, for because of their pride the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." So, hey, wrong direction, tribulation, lack of bread, the hatred among the folks. That's basically what's being pushed, up on this media. And, I could tell, Babylon's set up to lead the world astray. To make the whole world drink of that philosophy, man. The nations are mad, terrorism is almost in every country upon the earth, folks, can't, sit still, just chill out and grow up. folks are getting emotional. Folks turn over to drugs, man, and all kind of vices to relieve their stress. But as Yahweh Shemashah always lets the man of the Lord know, man, it's got to go on, man. This show has to go on, and you can't uh, you can't turn it back. The cat's already out of the bag. You know, the wine's already been spilled, and all that's left to look forward to in Babylon is just destruction, death, and plagues, and diseases. Newscasters always sit there on TV. Try to put a nice face in front of things, but they know, man, it's a done deal. So they always try to have an exit strategy. But at the end of the day, man, Yahweh Shemashah is just gonna round them up, you know, and deliver them up for captivity, man, because the Most High has something special for these elites, man. You know, but with that, like I say, man, Yahweh Shemashah, still waiting patiently, man, to bring about his judgment. He's gonna come with his chariots, like a whirlwind, and the angels too, and accompanied by the elect of Israel. So brothers, just try to stay faithful. You know, try to have patience, man. You gotta suffer patiently. You gotta learn to conduct yourself. As an adult. I know you're gonna sleep, here and there, but you just gotta get back up and you know keep on tilling the ground, man. You gotta feed the sheep, feed the flock. You can't give up. So you just gotta have faith, be diligent, and you know, don't let your fears get the best out of you. I know, brothers got hobbies here and there, but at least you gotta learn to balance things out. It's a time to play, it's a time to work. So the time to do the work of the Lord is now. The time of being playful and spending so much time, you know, getting entertained is coming to an end. So it's about crunch time. So brothers just gotta be diligent, man. Have faith, encourage other brothers to stand up and be courageous. You know, uh, you know, there's nothing much I could say, besides what the priest has said. Iron gotta sharpen iron. Brothers gotta band together and study up, do more live shows, put up more videos, and says all praises to Yah by Shimei Shai. Double honor to the men, apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Just gotta keep on being diligent in this truth. With that, shalom and peace, and Lord willing, see you in the kingdom. Shalom.